to another episode of Unlocking Stars with Abhishek, a series on Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra. Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra is one of the finest scriptures available on Vedic astrology. Today, we will be starting with a new chapter, that is Daridra Yoga Adhyaya, chapter number 43, and we will be doing verse 1 to 9. To explain these verses, we have with us our astro expert, Abhishek. Welcome, Abhishek. He will be telling us more about the combinations that are there in these verses that indicates Daridrita. So, over to you.
Thank you very much. Once again, it's a great opportunity, pride, and sense of blessings for doing commentaries on these mystical and divine verses of Brihat Parasar Hora Shastra. Mahaguru Maharshi Parasar is now revealing the new concept on request of Maitre, Daridra Yoga. In our parampara, or in general, if you try to understand life of any native, of any culture, there are four pillars. We call them four purusarth: dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. So, how important that earth is, the wealth is. This is one of the purusarth. Although in our parampara, I'm fully confident and speaking with full responsibility, there is neither glorification of the poverty nor obsession over wealth. This is our scripture. This is our parampara. But these two exist, coexist. That's why it's very natural question coming in Maitreya's mind. If Mahaguru revealed Samriddhi, if Mahaguru revealed Dhani Yogas, if Mahaguru revealed the celestial combinations, the techniques to check the wealth in the chart, it's very natural, very obvious for Maitreya to ask about any revelation to know the daridrita, the poverty. Although we believe in the karmic pattern, and in our parampara also, the poverty is also output or result of native's karma only. So it can be cured also by the karma. It can be embraced also by the karma, because ultimately karma is coming into the play. Before going into Mahaguru Parasar Mahakathan related to Daridrita, related to combinations of Daridrita, poverty, let's immerse in the prayer of Sri Mahadev. Our sages believe Daridrita, the poverty, is one of the diseases. It's a type of vyadhi. It's a disease. Even I can recall Arth Sutra also from Arth Shastra of Kautilya. He said, Adhanasya kuto mitram, amitrasya kutah sukham. It means, where are friends of Daridra, poor man? There is no friend of a poor man. And if there is no friend, then how can be one happy? So there is no happiness also. Chanakya is saying. That's why it's very imperative to know these combinations. It's very important. Let's let's immerse in the prayer of Sri Mahadev. I'm praying him through the Daridra Dahan, one verse of Daridra Dahan Strotram, because we are talking about the Daridrita only at the moment. by grandfather of Mahaguru Parasar, Vasishtha, sage Vasishtha. विश्वेश्वराय नरकार्णवतारणाय करणामृताय शशिशेखरधारणाय कर्पूर कांति धवलाय जटाधराय दारिद्र दुख दहनाय नमः शिवाय दारिद्र दुख दहनाय नमः शिवाय दारिद्र दुख दहनाय नमः शिवाय. Jai Gurudev. Har Har Mahadev. After praying Sri Mahadev, now we are ready to emerge in the Mahaguru Parasar Mahakathan related to poverty. Related to poverty. So in the first verse, Maitre is coming up and he's asking. Let's immerse in the verse. Bahavo dhanada yoga srutastavato maya mune daridra janma dana yogan kirpaya kathaya prabho. So Maitre is saying, Maitre Ubach, Maitre is saying, Hey Muni, hey great sage, you have told me a lot about the Dhan Yogas, wealth combinations you have told me. Now please tell me the yogas. Through those yogas, a person become poor. What are those combinations? Maitre is asking. It's very humble request to everyone who is participating in this Gyan Yagya. Always try to consider a chart in a holistic manner. Don't see one combinations, one verse and go and tell somebody you are going to be poor. It's a big responsibility. That's why Mahaguru Maharshi Parasar put forward Fal Kathan Adhikari. And that will damage the credibility of this great Shastra. So at the moment, we are just going through one verse by verse. And then everything has to be come into the play and we have to superimpose. So not only see one combination or half combinations and then go and tell someone. That's a very risky affair. That will dramatically reduce the credibility of this Shastra. Now the credibility of this Shastra is picking up because now the scientists and engineers, they also believe there is a logic in these celestial combinations and the interconnectedness is now scientifically proved. So that is the question of Maitre. All the other ground rules of Parasari system will be remain same. The intensity depends upon the avastha of the participating planets. So after request of Maitre, now Mahaguru Maharshi Parasari start revealing. He is start revealing the celestial combinations through verse 2. Parasaruvacha Lagane secha vyayasthane vyaye se lagnagate Markesa yute driste nirdhano jayate naraha. Here very important, two conditions. That's why I'm always giving warnings like always see the verse in holistically, always see the Shastra in the holistically. The first condition is the exchange between the Lagna Lord and the 12th Lord. And the second condition at the same time, second condition is also related to the Marquess. So Marquess, the aspect of the Marquess or conjunct of the Marquess with the VIS, that is also second condition. So if we see only one condition, and we cannot apply this verse. So second condition is also important. Then this verse is coming. So Lagnes and Vyas is in exchange. And the Marquess is also the Marak Lord. Mahaguru Maharshi Parashar will go in the Marquess Adhyay, complete whole Adhyay he will do. But we know, like second house Lord and seventh house Lord or other lords are also coming in. So this is the combination. First celestial revelation. In practice, people are not finding Daridra Yog. People are looking for Dhani Yog. So Daridra Yog is basically reducing the Dhani Yogas. So when you are practicing, when you are applying these classical verses, then you are looking for Raj Yoga and Dhani Yoga. And these combinations are reducing the Dhani Yoga. So the decrease in the Dhani Yoga is the Daridra Yoga, basically. But we need to understand separately also. That's why this great chapter is coming. Let's imagine verse 3. Lagne se astambhavasthe asthe se lagna gate marke sena yugdriste dhanhina prajayate. Now the exchange. Again, now the exchange is happening with the Lagnes and the sixth Lord. And in a similar fashion, similar pattern, the Marquess is coming into the play with the conjunction or aspect in connection with the sixth Lord. In that case, the native will be Dhanheen. We need to understand that is also in a very holistical manner when Mahaguru is talking about the Dhanheen, when he is talking about the Nirdhan, so he is talking about all type of dhanas. So the lack of all type of dhanas, not merely the cash. He explained in the previous chapter the type of dhanas, type of wealth. So that is scarcity he is talking about. If Vyayasthan Lord is, if the 12th Lord is into the picture, then the leakage is happening in the wastage, in the expenditure. If the 6th Lord is coming into the play, that leakage, that damage is being happened through the bad loans or through the enemies or through in the disease. But ultimately the native is suffering at wealth front. Now Mahaguru is revealing more. Let's come. Lagnen duke tu sanyuktau lagn pe nidhanam gate markes yute driste jato vai nirdhano bhave. So you can understand how this Marquess is playing very significant role. Now in this case, Lagna and Indu, Lagna, the ascendant Lord, the ascendant, and the Indu, Chandrama. If the Ketu is conjunct with the Lagna or Chandrama, if Ketu is conjunct and aspected by or conjunct with the Marquess, So Mahaguru Maharshi Parashara is here talking about the Lagna Kundali, giving importance of the Lagna. If this combination is happening with the Lagna, if Ketu is with the Lagna, and Markes is conjunct or aspect, or Ketu is with the Chandrama, and Markes is conjunct or aspect, then the native is then this native is going to be Nirdhan. But one thing also Mahaguru is saying, that has to be in the Lagna pay, so that is in the ascendant. So this has to be in the ascendant. This is the combinations. I hope it's clear now. If you have any questions, you can ask. You are mute.
I have question in the previous this thing, and one observation which I've been noticing, that everywhere there is always a role of Markesh that is coming in the verse, and that's an additional point which is there. So, what could be the reason why Markesh is always involved in these verses?
It's a very great questions. To get clear idea of this question, I will take you to the Gita, to the Bhagavan. Bhagavan explained in the Gita about the Mrityu. There are 8 type of Mrityu. And these Markes, that is the giver, or they can give that 8 type of Mrityu. We understand only Markes means the death. No, there are 8 type. So this Daridrata is also a type of a Mrityu. So this Markes, the Markes is getting very important role to curse someone with the Daridrata. That's why Markes is coming into the play, into the picture. Because this Markes has to give them Mritu or Mritu Tulya Kast. That's why Markes is very instrumental here. I will tell you in our parampara, like I will quote from Veda, one line, then you can understand. So, da dhavinau kantakau tikchnau sarir parisosanau. So there are 2 suffers, great suffers, the pain. The first is poor. The poverty is the great pain. So our Ved is saying the poverty is the great pain, especially when a poor person filled with a desire. So poor person filled with a desire. So if somebody doesn't have money and he wants something, that is a great pain. That is the Marcus is doing that one. So, a lot of siddhas, a lot of says in modern time also, they doesn't have money, but they don't have desire also. So they are not Daridra. Daridrata is only when you don't have money, but you have desire. So Marcus is doing this thing. A lot of sadhus are sitting there in the Himalayas or in Kasi or Vrindavan. They have nothing, but they don't need also. So there is no desire also. So they are not Daridra. Daridra, the sansaric people, we are Daridra because we got desire, but we don't have money. So that's why Marcus is coming. I hope it's clarified. Now we can go further. In the next verse 5th. Shastam vyaye gate lagna pe pap sanyute धने से रिपुभे नीचे राजवंशो अपि निर्धनः. That is very deadly combination. That is very deadly combination because in this case, if this combination is happening, then the person who born in the royal family become poor. So king become poor. So many times people are listening these proverbs like the from Raja to rank. So this is coming into the play. Born in a king, he is a prince, he is a He is a very rich man, but slowly he become poor. So in this case, if the Lagnes is afflicted by malefics, Lagnes is afflicted by malefics and posited in Astam, Sastam, and Vyay, 6, 8, and 12. So Lagnes is afflicted by the malefics and posited in a trick houses. And further, second condition is coming. This is not sufficient to that great downfall. Second condition is coming. The Dhanes, the Lord of wealth, Dhanes. If Dhanes is in anemical sign or Dhanes is in debilitation sign, Dhanes Ripu Bhe in anemical sign or niche or debilitate, then that native, whatsoever he is a son of a king, but he will become poor slowly. That is the combination. We need to understand these combinations because strength we need to understand and where the predictive intelligence is required. Because I told you time and again, there is not ready-made dress available. Some native is coming and you can prescribe. Every native is unique. And these Parashara principles, these are the abstract principles. They need to be applied case by case basis. That's why it's a Hora, Desh, Kal, and Patra. But we need to understand these verses, like if the Lagnes is afflicted and in trick houses, and Dhanes is also in an inimical sign or niche, so what damage that can do? Let's immerse in the next verse. Parasaruvacha Trike Sena Samayukte Papa Driste Vilagnape Saniyukte Atva Somer Driste Nirdhano Naraha. Now Mahaguru is saying three case. So three case, Lord of the trick. So Lord of the trick. So trick houses we know 6, 8, 12. So Lord of the 6, 8, and 12. So Mahaguru is talking about these lords, these malefic lords, severe malefic lords. So if the trick lord, if the Lagnes is conjunct with the trick lord, so Lagnes is associated with the trick lord or associated with the Sani Dev also. Sani Yukte athva Sani Dev also. We know, and there is no Saumya Drishti. There is no Saumya Drishti, no protection. So this is the combination for poverty. Because the trick lord, they are designated, they got a portfolio to damage, to give some hard life to the native. They are coming and conjunct with they are giving hard time, they are damaging the Lagna. Or Sanidev, he is a Karak for sorrow. He got same portfolio for everyone, universal Karak of Dukha. So they are damaging the Lagna, bleeding the Dhan, the wealth, making native Nirdhan. If there is no protection at all, if benefic planet will come, aspect, protect, try to overcome these malefic aspects, then some damage control will be there. So that is the revelation of Mahaguru Maharshi Parashar related to the trick lord and Sanidev. Or he is saying not only Sanidev, if any other malefics also, but Sanidev is more. because he got a portfolio of giving sorrowness. Now Mahaguru is moving further in the seventh verse. Let's come. Let's immerse in the seventh verse. Mantre sodharmanathascha kramat sastivyayi sthitau dristau chena marke sena nirdhano jayate narah. Here, this is very important because Mahaguru Maharishi Parashara is teaching the classical concepts also. When he was revealing the Dhani Yogas, then he explained how auspicious fifth lord and ninth lord, how great they are. Very auspicious, protecting native, giving wealth. But one can give wealth when their position is good. You can bless your child, you can give your child wealth if you have wealth, if your position is good. If your position is not good, if your condition is ultimately bad, then how can you protect the native? Here, the positional disadvantage is coming into the play. The mantras, the fifth lord and ninth lord. See the position. Sixth house and 12th house. Kramat. So mantras, the fifth lord is going to sixth. And ninth lord is going to the 12th. So Bhagyes is going to the expenditure, house of the expenditure. And the creativity and the education. This fifth lord is going to the in the house of a trouble. Sixth house. Position is really bad. And then Mahaguru is not stopping here. They are saying again aspect of the Marak. Full damage. So these two most important auspicious planets, they are totally damaged by the positional, by the disposition, and aspect also, aspect of the Marquess, then attracting the Nirdhanta. Nirdhanta is coming. Now, let's deep down in the next verse 8. Parasaruvacha papagrahe lagnagate rajadharmadhipau vina मारकेश युते दृष्टे जातः क्या निर्धनो भवे. So pap grahe lagna gate. So pap grah, we know who are the pap graha. So pap grah is in the lagna. Pap grah in the lagna. And Raj Dharma Dhipau Bina. So Raj Dharma Adhipati, 10th Lord is the Raj Adhipati, 10th Lord, and Dharma Adhipati is the 9th Lord. So the except 10th Lord and 9th Lord, other malefic planets, if they are with the Marquess Yute Drishte in the Lagna, then this combination is happening. So Pap Grahe Lagna Gate Raj Dharma Dhipau Vina. So Pap Graha, if the 9th Lord or the 10th Lord, they are also belongs to that category, but they are not, they are excluded because the 9th and 10th are usually very good for the native functionally. And the Marquess is again coming into the picture. Then Nirdhanta is coming. This is happening in the Lagna, in the ascendant. This Nirdhanta, very severe poverty because flowing to the whole personality. Now, in the 9th verse, त्रिकेशायत्र भावास्या तद्भावे सात्विकति स्थिताः पाप दृष्टयुता बालो दुख आक्रांतश्च निर्धनः. Now the trick Lord, Trikesh, 6, 8 and 12 Lord is going to, whatsoever bhav. We know these are the classical Parashara principle, very common. Wherever they are going, the trick lords are where they are going. They are if the trick lord is going to some houses and the dispositor of that houses is coming to the trick. So there is a yoga. So they are the trick lord, the damaging lord. They are establishing the yoga. They are establishing the yoga, and there is a papa drishti also, malefic aspect also, or malefic conjunction also. Then that native will be dukha krant. Native will be unhappy due to poverty. So these are the yogas, and I told you we have to be a gold digger in the chart. Look for the positive things. So we are checking the Dhani yoga. We are not checking the Daridra yoga, but the Daridra yoga will help us to understand the intensity of the Dhani yoga also, and vice versa. So thank you very much. If you have any
Thank
questions.
you, Abhishek. So it's not a question, but it's an observation, which I will say that most of these yogas, they involve ascendant, they involve 6, 8, and 12 houses, largely. And there is a role of Markesh. So when we say Markesh, essentially we indicate second and the seventh lord.
Mahaguru Maharshi Parasar is using very broad Marques in a very broad perspective. So the order of the Marques will decide the intensity of the yoga. So he is not restricting himself, or he is not restricting us to understand only second and seventh. The other also associated with the earth lord, or all the definitions of the Marques, all the Marques are invited here, but the intensity will decide.
But the maximum intensity will be with second and second and seventh,
Second and seventh.
essentially.
Hmm.
And then there is also a role played by the trick houses. Wherever either their dispositors are going, even when the planet ascendant is located in the trick house, there is a damage, and that is also affecting. And to some way, it's somehow associated in one or the other combinations. So there is also a role of trick houses. What do you have to say for that?
Definitely, trick houses are malefic houses, and the trick lords are representing. They got a portfolio to damage the natives. So wherever these lords are going, damaging the significations of those houses, and ultimately attracting some sort of nirdhanta. But the same trick lord and trick houses are also very auspicious when they are blessing native with the Viprit Raj Yoga. So in general, we cannot make a statement like a trick lord or trick houses are always bad. And nowadays, the significations of the houses are evolving as we are just further going in the Yug Parivartan. So these malefic houses are also sometimes very blissful. So we cannot say like every time it is bad and giving poverty, but particularly for these combinations, if these combinations is happening, then definitely this is the revelation of Mahaguru Maharshi Parasa, and definitely that will attract the poverty.
And my one question which comes to my mind is related to eighth verse, where he has exempted the ninth lord and the 10th lord. Even if it's a malefic planet, then also it has been exempted. So why is it so?
Because Mahaguru Maharshi Parasar categorized Kendra Asthana, very auspicious, and the Trikona Asthana, very auspicious. Kendra is a Vishnu Asthan and Trikona is a Lakshmi Asthan. And in Kendra, 10th is the most strong Kendra. And 10th Lord is representing the most strong Kendra, most auspicious. And 9th house is the most strongest Trikona. 9th Lord is representing the most strongest Trikona. That's why Mahaguru Maharshi Parasar is in directing us. He is not advising, he is directing. What is he saying? That is the direction. So that's why he is directing us to leave these two great lords. They will be bless the native. They will be good for the native. Even if you go in a Dasa syndrome, Dasa system, when Mahaguru Maharshi Parasar will reveal after the Graha Avastha Adhyaya, then the 10th Lord Dasa is excellent, and the 9th Lord Dasa is also excellent. Is in general, he will talk like that. That's why he is skipping these two great lords for any native.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, friends, that's all for today. We will be continuing with these verses in the next episode. Thanks for listening to us. Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you. Jai Gurudev. Har Har Mahadev.